Hey, good evening, everybody. It's Kim. Hey, I wanted to show you how I stretch a rather small piece of meat. Again, you know, we're looking at having difficulty finding some proteins right now, and I should have showed you this when it was still frozen, and I forgot. But anyway, this is about 13 and a half ounces of pot roast, and I'm cooking for 3 adults, 2 of which are men that work hard outside, and most people think that's 1 serving. I'm sorry, that has to be for our entire dinner. So what I did was, it was frozen, and I only have about 3 hours until dinner, and I forgot to take it out. So I put it in my crock pot pressure cooker, and I added some water, some onion. I go through and I find any vegetables that need to get eaten up. I had 2 Roma tomatoes that were going bad. I sprinkled a little bit of Hidden Valley Ranch dressing on there, the dry stuff, because I usually use the onion soup mix, but I don't have any. And then some garlic powder, salt and pepper. So how do you make this a full meal? To me, it's quite simple. You add all kinds of goodies to it. So here, again, I'm cleaning out my refrigerator. I had some mushrooms that are starting to turn a little bit, so those are going in the pot. I have 4 very large potatoes that go in, and I had 2 large carrots. Now, my brother does not eat carrots, and my nephew doesn't care for them all that much. I'm not a real big fan of cooked carrots, but you know what? It fills out a meal. So, do you think this is going to be enough for 3 adults? I say it has to be. Now, if this is not enough for your average family, what about adding a salad before dinner or some kind of soup? You know, there's ways to make it. You know, think about restaurants. How do they make your portions seem bigger? They give you something to eat before you get started. You might have a soup or a salad or something else like that, and you can start your meal off with that as well. So anyway, this is all going in my pressure cooker. In order to thaw it, what I do is I put it on, I brown it the best I can. Oh, by the way, I threw a couple little radishes in there too because I had them. I brown it, and then I put it on the poultry setting for, it takes 15 minutes under pressure, and it thaws it out enough that now I'm just going to cook it on high in the slow cook mode, and it'll be ready in, about 3 hours for dinner. So anyway, this is how I stretch a small portion of meat out for dinner, and once it's done, I'll give you an idea of what we got. Hey everybody, dinner is almost ready. I have the liquid that I cooked the roast in the Instant Pot or crock pot brand type Instant Pot, and I put the mushrooms back in there. What I did here was I had some cream I needed to use up, and I added a tablespoon of cornstarch to it. Now, if you don't have the cream, it's no big deal. Don't use it. But again, today I'm using up some things before they go bad. And I'm just going to make a really nice gravy. I like to use cornstarch. It's easy. And when you're using it, you'll know it's done when it's no longer cloudy looking. So again, it's just another way to stretch out what you have. Makes your meal seem a little bit more than it was. Takes all those meat juices and allows you to eat them, therefore adding more flavor and the proteins and stuff from the cooked meat. So I'm going to go ahead and finish this gravy. Now, we did have a friend show up for dinner, so I'll plate everything up for everybody. To me, that's another money-saving tip. I never put like a hunk of meat on the table and my sides. I like to just put it on the plate. That way I can make it, and once there's leftovers, they can go finish, if there's any leftovers, they can go make themselves another plate. But, you know, if you have children, sometimes their eyes get bigger than their stomach, or they only want to eat certain parts of the meal. Same with men. You know, my husband used to do it too. He would take a big hunk of meat and want to eat that and nothing else. Well, by putting it on the plate, they eat what they have, and if there's leftovers, they can have seconds. But that way, you know, everybody's getting a little bit of the protein, and you can make sure that everybody gets the amount that's appropriate for them. So anyway, I'll show you what our dinner looks like when it's done. Okay, let me give you another hint. Remember that small roast I had? Look at how when you slice it, lay it out on the plate nice, add a little gravy to it, it looks like it's a great big chunk of meat that I had. And that was only, like I said, under 14 ounces. Once I plate that up with all these veggies and a great big salad, it's going to look like so much more. And then I dug out a 50-cent packet of brownie mix that I had on clearance. It's going to make a great, big, beautiful meal. So that's how I do it. Small piece of meat, turn it into a great big meal. Okay, I had to stretch that roast a little further than I thought because, like I said, we had a friend show up. But everybody gets an equal share of the meat. There's potatoes, there's carrots. I made a beautiful salad from my lettuce, and then I didn't have much to go with it, so I shredded a little bit of carrot. I had a half of a Roma tomato I chopped up in the salad, and a cheese stick, you know, like the peel cheese, string cheese, that's what it's called. And like I said, everybody's going to get a nice big brownie. So there's our meal for the tonight, and I think I did pretty good with just a small piece of meat. What do you think? Let me know what you think. What would you do to make 13 ounces of meat feed 4 people?